exactly is past life regression therapy, and how does that differ from conventional therapy? Because I know you have a very traditional background.
Yes, as you mentioned, Yale Medical School, and they don't teach past life regression therapy there.
I don't think so.
No.
Right, right.
But regression therapy is simply the art of going backwards in time. I put people into very relaxed states, hypnosis, but there's nothing mysterious about that. The audience should know that hypnosis is just focusing the concentration so that when you're just paying attention in a concentrated, relaxed way, for example, when we go to the movies and we're paying so much attention, we're absorbed in the movie, that we don't hear the people eating popcorn next to us. That's hypnosis. I use that relaxed form of concentration to take people back in time. Regression therapy is just going back in time. Wherever you wind up going, childhood, infancy, in utero experiences, and many people have those and remember those, or even what appear to be past lifetimes. I think that these are real because I've had so many cases now over the past 20 years, but you don't even have to believe in it, not the therapist or the patient, for it to work. But basically that's it, just going back in time.
But a common question I'm sure you're asked all the time is, how do you tell the difference between if you're really remembering a past life and you're just imagining something? How do people tell the difference, or does it matter?
Well, at one level it doesn't matter if they get rid of symptoms, and that happens all the time, people getting rid of fears, phobias, and other symptoms. For example, if you remember drowning in ancient Egypt, you won't be able to prove whether that's memory or fantasy or metaphor. But if your fear of water, your fear of gagging or choking disappears in this life, then you've had a profound clinical benefit, whether the memory was real or metaphor or fantasy. But sometimes it's easier to tell. And rarely we've had people speaking foreign languages that they've never learned. This is called xenoglossy. For example, I had a woman from China, a surgeon, visiting here for the first time. She didn't speak any English. She was using a translator, professional, and she remembered a lifetime from the Northern California area about 120 years ago. It was pretty intense. She was having an argument with her husband, and she began to speak in very colorful English. Now the translator, being a professional, he didn't miss a beat. He just turns to me and he starts translating into Chinese. And so I had to go like this: stop, it's okay, I understand the English. And then I thought he would faint, because he knew better than anyone that she could not even say hello in English. So these examples of xenoglossy, that's not fantasy. That's something real. Or people knowing historical facts or details that they've never studied. So sometimes it's easier to tell when these things happen. Sometimes it's difficult to tell. You have to look at the level of emotion, of detail, of clinical symptoms clearing up, because that doesn't happen through imagination or fantasy. And sometimes it's hard to tell. And at the clinical level, it indeed may not